How to improve your lock to submitted ratio. And this is where we're gonna come back to KPIs. KPIs is very, very important. Your manager has access to these, and this is something that each and every single one of you needs to really know. Because by knowing these specific, I wanna say columns, but these indicators, it's gonna let you know what you need to fix and what you don't. So KPIs, there's a few that are very, very important. The very first one is lead to credit pull. Lead to credit pull is, if you look at some of these KPI charts that Ray will send out, right? You'll notice that some LOs or their names, usually it's like talk time. I think it's talk time report. It'll say like this LO took 180 leads, but he only pulled credit on 20% of them. Make sense? So that's a small amount. And that's a sign that when this person is receiving leads, he's going straight for the business. So he's going straight to, what's your rate? Okay, well, this is our best rate. Do you want it? No? Okay, bye. And moving on to the next. Meaning he's not finessing the conversation enough to even get enough trust to even pull the credit. And I think that it's obvious, but there's a lot of things that you discover on the credit report. There's a lot of LOs that don't even look at a credit report, right? Because you just import it and, well, now it's a list of liabilities. But who actually looks at the credit report? Good. And when you look at the credit report, what does it tell you? It tells you what comments that the credit bureaus make. And even if the prospect had a 760 FICO, the credit bureaus are gonna still put negative comments, aren't they? Bastards, they're mean. But what does that mean that we could do? It means that we could leverage that fear, right? So, hey, Andrew, I know you got a 776 FICO, but man, Experian just keeps saying that your revolving debt to credit limit ratio is too high. I wanna help you remove that and get you to the top 1% of the country and get your FICO north of 825. I think we could do it, but this is how. Now it's different. You know what I mean? Now I just turn this prime borrower who thinks he can walk on water and get the lowest rate. Now I got him cling to me because he wants to get to that elite status. You gotta remember that a lot of people with a higher FICO, no debt, they're all about status. They think differently than your 525 FICO going for that FHA cash out 80%. Right? So understand that, because you need to know how to leverage it. But besides that, what a credit report does tell you also is their credit accounts, their max credit limit, and then their balance, right? So you'll notice that their credit limit could be like 10 grand, but they hold a balance of 9,600. And then they got other credit cards that are also maxed out. That tells you a lot about how they're living. It means they really need help. Even though they're gonna tell you like, oh, I don't wanna add my debt to my mortgage. I'm trying to pay the mortgage off. Okay, buddy. Yeah, but $2 to your name, bro. But you got to be able to come in and actually position yourself to open up those ideas. So even if they tell you like, hey, Daniel, I don't want to add my credit cards to my mortgage, say, yeah, no worries. Just move on. Just know that you could save it later for your second call, your actual pitch call, because that then becomes your idea. Because what happens is that then allows me to bridge to what's called conditioning. Like I'm actually framing the sale. And so that's when I go over the credit report. I'm like, hey man, this credit bureau is saying this. I think I can help you remove it. I also noticed that you have 3 credit cards at its max limit. I think this is what the credit bureau is talking about, right? And so on and so forth, or whatever the situation may be. But the KPI of lead to credit pull is a good indicator of whether or not you're actually doing the initial intake call properly. Because you should have a clip of 50% plus of the people you talk to, saving room for 30% of people that just don't qualify, or 20% of the people that are just hard asses and don't even want to give you the last name, but they want a defined quote.